we probably should take
Greetings
us right
and
off
welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Crashers podcast where we discuss our thoughts on gaming news. I am Angelus de Mortiel, joined once again by KevN7.
Hey,
He's muted still. Don't tell him that he's muted though. We also have Xaiphen.
Yeah, I decided to show up.
And we are joined today by our guest. Hopefully I'm not butchering it again. Tasher.
Tashir, how you doing?
Tashir. See, it's gonna be a whole thing. I'm gonna try my best. Tashir.
Well, just think of this, Tashir.
Yeah, there we go. Tashir.
Tosh
There it
in
is.
the ear.
Yeah,
There it is.
that works.
I was thinking he was just wearing like very sheer clothing.
There it is. You got that too.
What's really driving me nuts here, and is gonna drive me nuts all stream. By the way, guys, Skype updated, and it decided that it was going to switch its entire UI. So now if someone leaves the call, rejoins it, it rearranges all of the damn cameras. So now we have KevN7 and Xaiphen. Xaiphen is Tashir, and Kev is yeah. So I'll work to fix on that while we kind of get introduced in here. In any case, so as we have a guest, first of all, we'll let Tashir have the floor and kind of give us a background of your career, I guess, here on YouTube and or excuse me, on Twitch, because I'm brain dead.
Well, first of all, I greatly appreciate you guys having me on. I think we've already established Kev is my man. We go back several years. We met on the music creation side of YouTube. I've known each other since, but both of us have always been gamers. And he always tells the story that I got him into PC gaming.
You were one of the ones, yeah.
That's
you were
crazy.
one of the people. It was one of you. For the people that watched her early, we had Major Stupidity on there. He was one of the ones that did it also.
Okay.
It just kind of pointed me towards Steam. I'm like, this is amazing. Because I was just going to buy an Xbox One, but I didn't really want to. I was like, I can't get a PS4, but this looks amazing. This is when you couldn't find the damn PS4.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, let's do this PC thing.
Yeah, PC gaming is great. Master
I love
race.
it. Yes.
But yeah, I started out many years ago as a rapper and music producer, I guess you can say. Transition to nowadays, I'm more of the instructor side of that. I'm more teaching and helping, mentoring people how to do that kind of stuff as far as recording and making music and stuff like that. The other side of me, what you have me here for, is I finally decided to go full time with my video game and streaming. I've been a gamer damn near all my life, but I've been in PC gaming for about 8 years now. Put a couple computers, made my way to Twitch. Somehow I followed Kev. Like, damn, what are you doing here? but no, I really enjoy, gaming in general, even though I'm not a console gamer anymore. That's where I came up, obviously. And I still watch a lot of people that play console or just other games that I don't play. I just love gaming. And now with the whole streaming thing, it's what it should have, what it's always been, really, I should say, where you got a friend or somebody over and you guys are, one person's playing the game, the other person's sitting next to you. Well, how about this and how about this, and cracking jokes or whatever at the same time. That's the same thing streaming is to me. So I love when people come into the chat and I get the chance to just kick it with them, and I get to go over there and stink up Kev's chat room and make fun of him and whatnot.
If you don't do it, Mort will.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much it. Yep. And also, good morning to everybody in the chat there that's joining us on here. Also, I did want to throw out a little bit on here too, just as we kind of get started on here. While we live stream this on Twitch and YouTube, well, whenever Kev's YouTube behaves, we're still sorting that out. But
Google hates me.
Yeah, but aside from that, also, you may be also listening to this audio because we are now on Anchor as well. So we
Dun-dun-dun.
upload this on Anchor. So you may be streaming this on your Google Home devices or your Amazon Alexa. In which case, if you're on Alexa, you made the wrong choice. Google Home's better. Don't at me.
Right on. Right on.
Oh, but yeah. So in any case, I just wanted to throw that out there because that's an exciting piece on there that I'm happy about. That took me a lot of sweat late in the last night to make sure it was set up.
Sure.
But let's now that we've got Tashir introduced, I think in chat's also helping me out there. Tashir.
There it is.
But now that I'm getting names right, and we've got Tashir introduced on here, so a couple things we're gonna start with on here. First of all, I heard Kev talking about how he beat Origins. What's Assassin's Creed Origins? What was that?
Yeah, beat that like a few weeks ago.
Did you? How do you beat an open world game?
You finish you finish the story.
You stop playing. You stop playing.
That's it. You just stop playing.
You beat COD.
Yeah,
that's how you beat COD. You just stop playing.
You sit
in the corner. You cry.
Yeah, you go into a show hole. You go into a show hole and just stop.
To quote an old a movie from the 80s, War Games, the only way to win is not to play.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, exactly. But
isn't that how it works with League?
Yeah, actually, because
don't play.
No, you should.
You won't win.
There is no winning playing League of Legends. The only winning that you do is getting that cancer from all that nastiness that you're gonna get there. But and it looks like by the look of it that our chat guy is just also broken in the overlay. Skype is really kind of broken everything.
There it is.
Still working.
Let's give it up.
But while I'm trying to sort everything out, literally. I see the chat in Twitch, but I don't know if we're getting more from YouTube's on there. In any case, why don't we go around and talk about some new game stuff that's happened over the past couple weeks, and we can talk about Tashir since he's the guest on here, and since no one knows what he plays. What have you been playing recently?
I've been doing what I call Arkham Insanity. I was going through the entire franchise of Arkham games, including Origins. So I just finished up Origins a couple of days ago. When I get back, if not tomorrow, Monday, I'll be doing the DLC for that, then finishing up with Arkham Knight. Love it. Love it. But after that, probably going. I'm trying to decide if I'm going into No Man's Sky, if I'm going into Monster Hunter. I've been wanting to get Hitman, get that done. There's also Dead Cells, so it's, as you all know, it's tons of games.
So good.
Dead Cells is really good, and we're also going to be talking quite a bit about more Dead Cells later on, but not about the actual game.
Oh yes, let's talk about
that massive L.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
We'll get to that though in just a moment. Though first, Kev, what you been up to?
Well, we know I went out and played the Game of Life this morning. That's why Xaiphen was late.
5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes before we were supposed to start.
Yes, I was late.
That crab was good though. Other than that, games I've been playing. I've been playing State of Decay. A lot of State of Decay. Actually, nothing else but State of Decay and Yakuza.
You're on 2 right now?
Yeah, State of Decay 2. I got that, and then I've been playing Yakuza 0.
That Yakuza 0 were over the top as hell. You know, that's how it goes.
It's so good. I might actually install the Black Ops 4 beta since it's free today.
Xaiphen got invited to the beta.
If you have PC, they say come play, please play for free. Please. This is Activision just doing this for free, please.
Xaiphen's been all up in that. He really.
No, actually, I completely.
Xaiphen bought a PS4 just to play the beta last weekend.
Yeah, he's a huge fan of Call of Duty. I hear.
Not since what 2007 or 2009.
Pro player.
Hey, that's all.
Pro player. He's really into it. He's like, honestly, I think he's a Call of Duty fanboy even.
I think Xaiphen fell out when they realized that they're gonna revenge spawn on the campers, so he couldn't do anything. Because Xaiphen likes tactical shooters.
Yeah, bro.
Camper shooters. That's what I call them. Camper shooters.
So he's the sniper guy.
Yes.
Well, no. Kev, Xaiphen, and I.
Kev's trash at Rainbow Siege.
That's what it is.
That thing is like the video game sniper. I'm big. You know, I spent some time in the military, and I've actually had conversations with real snipers. And I have a big pet peeve on the term sniper. In games, what people call snipers are sharpshooters. It's the idea of like somebody in a watchtower, clear visibility of everything. They're very fast to react and can hit stuff with good accuracy at a long range. A sniper has very narrow field of vision. They just sit and wait forever for their one fucking target to come up, you know, and then they take that out, and then they're done. In video games, you don't really snipe. You know, you sharpshoot. You know, in some cases, you may set yourself up in a sniper-like position where you're, say, covering down an alley, but it's not really a sniper in the military definition of it.
Right.
And that's why I don't really like that one. You know, sometimes I actually do snipe in games, but I usually move on from it. You know, I sit, wait, see nothing, and then nothing, and then nothing. I'm like, all right, fuck this shit, I'm done. I'm going to go corner ambush.
As Pinnacle Ops put it accurately, sniper equals 360 no scope. That is true sniping. Yes. You talk to any military sniper, they will tell you that the way that they hit their targets is they literally jump up in the air, spin around in a complete circle, and just kind of fire the gun aimlessly. And they always hit their target.
They quick scope.
Yeah, they just kind of do that whole like. That's how you snipe things, right? You just kind of pull the only for a moment. You don't even look down the scope because that would be cheating.
If you look down the scope, you've taken too long and your target's gonna move.
Well, if you look down the scope, you're a camping piece of shit. That's you know that is
there we go.
That is called the Call of Duty way of life right there.
Let's get to the heart of things right there.
That's why I don't pick. Because and this is why Kev is great to play Rainbow Six Siege with, because he's the guy that's like, I see that.
I want to run with a shotgun. I want to run with a shotgun and challenge everybody. Except the snipers. You never challenge a Call of Duty sniper. You will lose.
Like, shit, I saw something move. Like, I'm on your team.
Kev is like, this is Kev in a Rainbow Six Siege game. I see you're shooting at an enemy. I'm going to go ahead and position myself between you and that enemy so I get shot by both.
Wow.
Hey, you should watch where I was going.
Yeah,
Screw friendly fire.
There it is.
Although he has a lot more fun playing Ghost Recon Wildlands. I know that's his favorite game.
We know that's a lie.
Okay, all right. Can we divert and discuss this for a second, because I've been loving Ubisoft games as of late, and I've been drawn towards Wildlands. Yet so many people say no, but there's a number of people saying yeah, go there. What's your guys' take on that?
So this is largely where I'm at on it. While the multiplayer experience is still not what I would consider that great. It's got a lot of problems, especially the more people you get in your squad, the more unstable it becomes. Is kind of the main crux of the issue. When we tried to stream it once here, the moment Kev joined in with Xaiphen and I, all of a sudden things start crashing, and that's where we see a lot of latency and that sort of thing.
Right, I was playing with a controller. Controls aren't doing what they're supposed to do. I'm crashing, lagging. I'm like, man, screw this.
You're just using the wrong controller,
but
I rage quit that shit so quick.
But as a game though, it can be generally fun. It's pretty cathartic. I mean, it's an open world game.
I like how Mort put it before. Jungle GTA, but GTA 5 is better.
Yep.
Well, I'd say GTA 5 is better.
No, and you're not wrong. GTA 5 is better. You know, especially when you get into modding. There's no mods on Ghost Recon Wildlands, so that's where I say just the mods alone means GTA will always be better. That's where I'm at on it. Unfortunately, that's kind of the downside to it. The gunplay's not bad, gotten better. The vehicle piloting has gotten better. So those both were really bad at launch, but it's open world game. The open world, you know, it's if you played a Ubisoft open world game, you know what to expect from it.
Okay, so
Ghost Recon Wildlands is Assassin's Creed. Yeah. And Assassin's Creed is Watch Dogs.
I was just about to say, with that being said, when you say, you know, it's an Ubisoft game, are there towers involved?
Actually, there aren't. That is one thing that I think is a little, well, although Watch Dogs 2, was there any tower things in that one? I can't remember.
I don't think there was.
No.
There aren't any. There's one in Far Cry 5, and they actually make a joke about it.
Yeah,
that was like right in the beginning.
I think the new Ubisoft games, they're getting away from the towers. I don't even think I synchronized but once in Assassin's Creed Origins. See, so I think they're getting rid of a lot of that kind of mechanic.
Yeah, because it's kind of become a little bit too repetitious.
Gotcha.
The respawning sand missiles. Yeah, Rose, that is one thing I can say is that like you want to just cruise around, because to be fair, the world in Wildlands is very well done. It actually feels kind of like an organic, living world that you're in. It feels like you're in Bolivia. Well, unless you've been to Bolivia, in which case then you're like
Bolivia.
Yeah, someplace like this fictional Bolivia in this game. You know that. So you can definitely see it on there, but there are some things like if you transport fast travel to any of your like little fast travel points in there, then the stuff that you've destroyed gets respawned. So that's kind of like the surface to air missiles or radar jammers, stuff like that. It all gets respawned, and you're like, well, I guess I get started.
Welcome to Dark Souls.
And when you run over the pedestrians, they don't scream loud enough.
You can actually fail and have to respawn if you kill too many civilians.
Yeah, one thing that would be nifty.
So it's not even Jungle GTA now. Half the fun of GTA is running over pedestrians.
Right.
One thing that would be a nifty add-on to that game, though, is interactive respawns. Because like the SAMs, the radar towers, those are all on trucks. You know, those are not fixed devices. They set up shop and then run, you know, from a fixed point, but they'll roll in on trucks, you know, modified to carry that kind of equipment. What would be nice is if you go away for a while, whether it's a fast travel or whatever, if they had it on a certain respawn timer, and then you go back to it and you can see them bringing in the replacement and actually take it out before it gets completely set up. That would be a nifty feature in there. And I know the game engine could handle that. They just don't have it set up for that.
The other thing on there too that I think is interesting is they've done some great jungle kind of plays on there. They actually did one of the things that Ubisoft is starting to do, which I'm always an advocate of, is using your strengths as a company, what you've built and what you're strong at, to help boost your brand, right? And one of the things that I think that they're doing well is they're starting to kind of overlap their universe. And that's something you've noticed on there. So the first thing is that they brought Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell in for a secret mission that you had to help him out with in Wildlands. Now they brought in Rainbow Six team members, and you had to help them out on a mission. And
must have missed that one.
Not in their universe, but still very fitting, very nostalgic-y. They actually had a Predator mission. Yeah, and that was that hit all the nostalgia notes. Like you're running through the jungle and you get that like kind of the little drums kicking up as you're running through the jungle.
It's like, there's like nobody here. It's like no enemies, no bystanders, nobody. This is eerily quiet. So it's quiet, a little too quiet. It's Raph, a little too Raph.
And it kind of it takes you through an abbreviated version of the first Predator movie. Essentially, it's like you talk to some lady who's really spooked, and the jungle came and got him or whatever. Like literally the same thing from the story. And then you find some guys strung up and skinned in a bad state. You run and you find the spaceship that crashed, and then you're like you hear the clicking. And then you hear like the little voices, your voice, things that you said, kind of being echoed back at you.
Right.
And then you track him down and you fight him. I actually never was able to beat him. That shit was hard. Like they didn't pull any punches on there. Xaiphen even tried to help me on that one, and
yeah,
it was definitely a get good. It's you have to be very patient and not mess up. You mess up, you're done. That's it.
You probably could pull it off with teammates that are, and the thing is this game, unlike previous Ghost Recon games, well, it's not really a Ghost Recon game. Mort and I have already had that discussion. Yeah. It's skinned Ghost Recon, but the function of it is not a Ghost Recon game. Mm-hmm. But at any rate, it has a level up factor. You develop skills in the game like an RPG, which that irritates me to a certain extent, but I've learned to live with it and enjoy the game despite that. Right. But if that Predator one, like Mort was a sufficiently higher skill level than I was when he went into. One of the things we're having trouble is my slow revive skills. I couldn't bring it back fast enough. At this point in time, we may be able to have a better chance at a second crack at it.
No, we would have a worse chance because at this point, because I'm a higher, I can't remember what they call it, but it's a prestige rank. I'm locked into higher difficulties. Like I can't go to the low difficulty levels settings. I have to be advanced difficulty or higher.
Wait, are you trying to brag? Trying to say you're better than us now?
No, it's rough. It gets really rough.
Get good.
You can do a lower difficulty as a client.
Yeah, but in any case, though, like I said, it has its fun, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good game. The reason why is because it really doesn't do anything that unique. It's pretty much it takes the old theme, kind of a lot of the play styles of the old Mercenaries games, if you remember those, but it takes itself more seriously, right? Okay. Instead, Mercenaries was just it was kind of like what is it? Just Cause, right? Right. It's just silly, over the top. It's not taking itself seriously at all.
I forgot all about Mercenaries.
Just Cause is so glorious.
Yeah, it's similar concept on there. Like my favorite thing in Mercenaries was the rocket launcher pistol that like fired rockets out of it at a rapid fire. Which you would almost certainly.
Was that one or two?
No. This was in Mercenaries.
Okay.
Yeah. But
that's an old game.
Yeah, they were older games from like the mid 2000s, but very similar open world kind of idea behind it, except for Wildlands takes itself more seriously. And of course that means that you have to not take them seriously by getting out on a speedboat and ramping your way up into the military base.
Yes.
Wow.
Welcome to GTA, folks.
Let's do it.
Now, if you really want to do it, you say welcome to Just Cause. Get your wingsuit, get your rocket launcher, go ham. Yeah. Maybe that's just what I do.
Yeah, Saints Row is jumping the shark. That's not over the top. That's jumping the shark. They're so, yeah.
Saints Row is too much for me. I just want to blow some shit up and maybe run over a couple pedestrians.
Saints Row.
Just Cause. Just Cause does that much better.
Yeah. Just Cause is Michael Bay, the video game. That's the way I've always, video game. Yeah, that's the way I've always justified it.
It really is. It's so much fun. I love Just Cause.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're one of those people that wants to get a lot more vicious in the game, like ripping body parts off for your enemies, skulls, spines, whatever. Predator Concrete Jungle or Spawn the Eternal, going way the fuck back there.
No, I mean let me rant.
Swords versus rocket launchers.
Yeah, I'll rant for like 5 seconds about Predator Concrete Jungle and how the movie studios had like such a grand opportunity to bring Concrete Jungle to the big screen.
Oh yeah,
with this new Predator reboot. No, they just fucking.
That's like the original Predator, or the second Predator, set up kind of a lore behind it. You know, much like Warframe. No, not really a good story, but a decent lore behind it. Well, Concrete Jungle actually put a good fucking story behind that lore. And like the best Predator story I've come across is Concrete Jungle. That is a pretty damn good story in that game.
Yep, it definitely was. But since there's no fun or easy segue to it.
Oh, there is, but it has something to do with dildo swords.
Yeah,
hey.
no, there's definitely gonna be some dildos involved here. Let's get ourselves. Let's get ourselves. Let's get ourselves into fun here. So, as fantastic as we know games journalism is, it's
yes.
they are always ethical. They never do anything that is remotely untoward. You know, we know that. You know, they're always on part here. My sarcasm is bleeding through here. There was a writer, Philip. I'm gonna butcher his last name. We'll just call him Philip. Writer at IGN made a video review of Dead Cells. Great game, Dead Cells is. Well, we can all agree on that. And his review, when played side by side with a smaller YouTuber, or well, then smaller YouTuber, he's not anymore. Smaller YouTuber. There was a lot of eerie similarities between the two. Like, as in, when I say eerie similarities, I mean like verbatim, word for word, same text.
I'd easily say 95%.
Yeah, like 90. He changed a couple words,
right?
With synonyms. Like we're talking middle school.
Yeah, with synonyms.
Yeah, middle school grade. Copying your book report from another book report on the internet.
Right.
That's what it was. IGN, of course, they pulled down the review and said they were investigating. Like only like a couple days later, they were like, "Yep, nope, that writer's fired."
That was actually pretty awesome.
There was no way that they could go through and say, yeah, you know, it looks like plagiarism, but in reality, it was. No, there was no way they were going to get away with that.
He did, but he went back and damaged.
We're getting to that. We'll get into that. We're kind of following a loose chronology here. Kotaku then wrote a piece where they actually went and dug up an older FIFA review that he did for FIFA 2018. That also.
Wait a minute! So this is more.
Yeah, he has. This is not a first time he has done this. So they went back. Jason Schreier, probably the only halfway decent games journalist out there. Yeah, he found other evidence of him plagiarizing reviews. And then last night, found by our good friend Jeremy in the Discord, there found a nice response video that this writer Philip made in response to
the guy that was fired.
Yeah, the guy that was fired made a response video. He, like, stereotypical as possible. He starts off the video with the saddened sigh. Where do I begin? Like, literally, this is... If you could have a check boxes for how to make an apology, and like the stereotypical formula you use, he literally is hitting every checkbox on there. Oh, yeah, he's got the... Kev posted up the link for the video.
It should have been...
labeled the damage control video.
It should have been titled "Sorry, Not Sorry."
Yeah, that's literally what it was.
But
sorry, not sorry.
That would have required him saying sorry.
Yeah.
I don't believe he actually ever says sorry. Now, I didn't listen to the damage control.
He says sorry to IGN, and he says sorry to the makers of Dead Cells. He never fucking apologizes to the person who he actually wronged, which was Boomstick. He said, I'm sure Boomstick
never admitted.
No, he never admitted that he plagiarized anything. You don't actually see in the description, in the title of the video, or anywhere in his video, he mentions the word plagiarism.
It's okay, because the comment section has it all over the place.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to read a couple of those gems here. I actually pulled up a few of my favorites.
He's right now sitting at 1.8K likes and 12K dislikes on this video.
Yeah, it's definitely on there.
He's got it wrecked.
One of the best ones on here. This was one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Was like, someone was like, this video could have been very redeeming and stepping stone towards forgiveness and trust. Instead, you used it to try to dodge and avoid blame rather than admitting you were at fault and taking ownership for plagiarizing Boomstick Gaming's work. You go as far as to even suggest that you did not use similar method for your FIFA 18 review, even though it's clear to all that that there was an example of your use of plagiarizing. Oh, fuck, this person's writing. So my apologies. Plagiarism and paraphrasing. On Twitter, you're also censoring people by blocking anyone who has an issue with this video. Instead, allowing them to vent their frustrations and call you out on what is starting to feel like a pathological behavior of subverting the truth behind your actions. Yeah. Like,
dude, you have the opportunity to do one of two things. Admit you were wrong or do nothing at all.
Yep.
You had the opportunity. Instead, you decided to jump out there and try to make yourself seem like a victim or however the situation may be. You didn't do what you should have done. Idiot.
Yeah.
Yes.
That it's not an idiot. This is legitimately not a good person. It's a person, and as I commented on the video, which, you know, was is in my opinion summarizes it. It's like, you know, at first when I saw the video, I was like, nice, this guy's trying to be grown up and facing up to a mistake he made.
And then you watched it.
Yeah, silly me. I forgot that no one on the internet is wrong nowadays, and even when the evidence is so irrefutable that a news publication with a questionable journalistic ethics standard had to fire you.
That's a bad point right there.
Yeah, that's like Kotaku having to fire someone for plagiarism. I mean, like, you know, like.
It's a very smart individual right there.
Yeah, like.
Now here's one thing I want to point out right here, and here's the thing: is people hear the term, and some people don't get it just because of the way it sounds. Psychopath, sociopath. These are very common mental disorders, and in some cases, they actually help people out in their careers. The biggest difference between the two is sociopaths have impulse control issues, so they do crazy shit, which gets them into a lot more trouble. Psychopath, and both of them lack empathy. A psychopath is more self-protective, but they still don't give a crap about anyone else. And this is some symptoms of a psychopath right here. Not only does he not care, you know, about the person that he's harming, but he's also trying to cover up and protect himself as a result of that. You know, that's psychopathic tendencies right there.
And he even tried to flip it around and make himself the victim of it, which was you know,
like I
the
said,
most egregious part. Yeah. At what point he tried to he was like more or less say, I take full. This is my favorite part. He said, like, at the beginning, he's like, as the editorial lead, I take full responsibility for this. By the way, he tweeted out when he released this review, he tweeted out that this was his first completely self-produced, self-written video. He wasn't the editorial lead. He was the everything. He was the writer. He was the director. He was the producer. He's the one-man show here.
He might as well have been the janitor, too.
Yeah, he's not the editorial lead.
Well, he was trying to be.
He essentially is trying to obfuscate his level of responsibility by saying, as the editorial lead, I didn't do the writing, but, you know, since I was running the team, I take responsibility. That's bullshit. You were the writer. The second piece was, then he said it was unintentional. Unintentional.
95% is not unintentional.
Plagiarism is never unintentional. It is always very deliberate.
It's deliberate by design.
That's yeah, exactly. It is always deliberate. That's where I'm like, come on, man, try harder to be full of shit. But then, but then later on, he goes on to try to kind of essentially say, But, you know, one thing that I do have a problem with, you know, all you people threatening my family and this sort of thing. And then he turns it into a threatening people making threats at him. And then he goes on to say, and I do want to thank everybody for the kind words and the words of support and that sort of thing. Essentially, he's trying to turn it into he's the victim here.
You gotta pick a struggle. You can't
right
be
there,
the victim and then get mad at people for attacking your family, but say, "Oh, you got kind words, bro." Which is it?
What?
Are we giving you kind words, or are we threatening your family?
That makes me question the validity of, you know, attacking the family. Yes, it does happen, so it is very possible. But here's the thing: is this person is of a conscious mind and know how to manipulate people. You know, that you can tell by the video if you look into it. He knows how to manipulate people, and bringing that into reference, for the most part, there's not going to be anybody that disagrees with that part right there. I don't. I don't like, oh man, yeah, they should have gone after his family. Like, no, nobody is going to say that's okay.
Yep.
So either, you know, that did. I can't say for sure that did happen or not. There's people out there that will do that, so I can't say that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But how much he's pushing, trying to manipulate people's feelings, you know, maybe it did happen and it wasn't quite as bad as he made it seem like it was, just so he could garner more of the victim role. Like, oh, not only is it me they're coming after, but it's my family too. You know, and like I said, no one is going to argue that point of view. Anybody with any kind of empathy is going to be, yeah, that's fucked up. Don't go after the family. But I'm not entirely sure that he's not using that as manipulative leverage.
Well, the thing is it's the internet. It like I could go out and I could pet puppies and kittens on a video, and say, look how cute these puppies and kittens are. Somebody on the internet somewhere is gonna be like, I hope your fucking family dies. You know, like I'm doing nothing remotely controversial or in any way affronting or offending to anybody. Some dude out there is gonna threaten to kill my family. So
and that thing is like, you know, looking at those psychological terms, you know, differences. The people making those threats are more likely sociopaths. They lack the empathy, but they also lack the impulse control. Whereas, you know,
I feel like that might be jumping a little bit too much on there. Because I'm like of a lot of my background with psychology, I tend to, well, let's not diagnose people without knowing what they're. I agree that a lot of his actions do have traits of psychopathy, but you know, I wouldn't necessarily like say, oh, he's a psychopath, or people that threaten him are sociopaths, that sort of thing.
At that point, yeah, no, absolutely needs a doctor's diagnosis on that. I am no way diagnosing. I'm saying that these are exhibitive traits of these issues.
Yeah, I mostly like to clarify that because people will be like, oh, look at the armchair psychologist.
I appreciate that. I don't want to be sounding like, you know, I'm actually saying, hey, this is absolute facts. Like, no, it is not.
Yeah. You know, so that's but in any case, nonetheless, a lot of what I see on there is that people are going to threaten people on. That's just the way things work, the way things are done on the internet. It's a kind of armchair doctor podcast. Yes.
Yes.
So it must be
finally someone who gets us.
Yes. So we are all now armchair doctors. I'm gonna go ahead and prescribe people to go ahead and drink copious amounts of bleach. Yes.
Wow.
No, let's not do that, folks. I think a lot of it though is that it's easy to be like, oh, yes, I was threatened online, because yes, the chances that you were in fact threatened on the internet are incontrovertibly high. No one is going to be like, you know, I don't think you were threatened. Unless it's like every time someone accuses you of something, always there's a death threat behind it, then people might start saying, okay, let's actually see some of these death threats. Which I've seen with other controversial figures that we're not going to go into because that's a whole can of worms. But there have been people that have claimed to be threatened all the time, but yet there was no evidence of those threats, and it was a questionable nature of them using like the fact that they were threatened in order to subvert accusations, which again is what's happening here. The other thing that I noticed that he very carefully did was he made very good use of the word allegation. These allegations against me,
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly did this, and that's essentially saying that it's something that a person accused him of but has not been proven. That's what an allegation is, and
we have the evidence.
yeah, there's.
Well, here's the thing: is that careful terminology there also, does highlight the fact that he has some education in journalism.
Yeah.
That's
and
things
PR
that
specifically.
But you use certain terminology to try to avoid being hit with libel.
Well, the thing is that at this point, he's not the one that's definitely knows the game, or he may have consulted with someone who's in PR, and they said, here's the way that you have to do that. A lot of people were making comparisons to his apology video to everybody's best friend and favorite YouTuber Logan Paul. That was sarcasm, in case that wasn't clear. I should say everybody's favorite YouTuber frat boy, but whatever.
Right.
Point is that Logan Paul.
Is he better than Logan Paul?
Huh?
But is he better than Logan Paul?
I don't know. See, Logan Paul actually directly admitted that he did something wrong and apologized. Whether or not that was a genuine apology, that's debatable. But he at least
the internet. None of these apologies are genuine.
Yeah, but that's part's debatable. The thing is that he never actually this guy never admitted to anything and never actually apologized for doing anything.
He got fired for nothing too.
Yeah, he didn't do it, guys.
Right,
It was not his fault. It was everybody else's fault but his.
I came into work and they told me I need to go home.
You saw me on the counter. It wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me.
It's like, you're standing over a corpse, you got a knife in your hand, and your arm is shaking from having stabbed the person 16 times. Carl, stabbing people kills them. Xaiphen reminded me of llamas.
You plagiarized my joke.
You plagiarized your joke. Yeah, exactly.
I plagiarized from somebody else.
But the question I want to pose to you guys, as we kind of discuss this on here, though, the question I want to pass to you guys on here is, do you guys think that there should be a form of editorial review for these game outlets like IGN or whatever, where another person reviews your content before? Because from what it seems like, people didn't review this before it went out.
There has to be something like that in place, but the thing about it is, with what you're proposing, if in this particular case we're talking about IGN way up here and the other channel guy way down here, how are you going to verify that it's all good?
That's a good question. To add to that, how do you vet these things?
Right.
Like, there are millions upon millions of hours uploaded to YouTube every minute of the day.
Yes,
how do you keep up with, and how many of these are game reviews? How do you keep up with each one of these without watching each of these game reviews? I think Boomstick did the right thing. He came out, he made his video and made a complaint and made it known. And when IGN caught wind, they did the ethical thing.
One thing I would say is, somebody should not be editing their own work. Or, should not, when you're dealing with a bigger publication like that, they should not be the editor of their own work. There should be an independent editor.
True.
That is one thing that is always going to be a step in the right direction. If you're editing your own work, you are going to miss more mistakes than if a different set of eyes, a different mind takes a look at it.
That's a lack of integrity.
Yeah. Now the thing is in a bigger business like IGN, they can have review staff, or they have enough clout to say have dedicated staff to look at other videos on the internet more or less on a grading scale of how big is this, and this is business. How big is this competitor we're looking at? Is it like, say, 10% of us? Is it less than 1%? If it's less than 1%, fuck it, we'll ignore it until there's a complaint. But if they're big enough, you know, they have enough popularity compared to IGN or those particular reviewers working for IGN, then they should be looking at it a lot more carefully, and it should be easier for them to cross-examine for counts of plagiarism before it even gets published.
Right.
You know what makes things worse too is he was the new guy. So how do they vet their employees before they hire them?
Well, they look at their portfolio and body, expecting games journalists to do things ethically. Yeah.
Right, right.
I mean, yeah, like, yeah, that is fair. But no, they typically look at their body of work. Do they have published work from before? And thus from
stolen?
Yeah, well, the thing is from what it appears like, probably wasn't. My guess on here, and this is completely my theorizing, so take that with a mountain of salt. This is likely not what happened at all, but a scenario that I could imagine this Philip guy getting into the situation that he's in now is essentially, you know, he starts off, he's making YouTube stuff or whatever. He gets hired by IGN. Man, dream come true. And the pressure starts to build. Hey, you've got deadlines to meet. You have to, you know, work in this maybe more stressed than you're used to environment. I wouldn't necessarily say it's incredibly stressful, but probably more stressed than previously that he was experiencing. And trying to meet tight deadlines for reviews, maybe whenever you're not able to, rather than admitting that, you go to certain lengths in order to fill the gap. So. And that's,
well, welcome to the real world.
Oh no,
welcome to the real world.
And by the way, to make this clear, I'm not saying that is the right choice. I'm saying that this might be a scenario that a person might lead to plagiarizing things. I think it's bad to do, and that is a sign that you are a weak individual in general.
Oh. I mean, not trying to hijack the topic or the show, but I've had this happen to me in my other world, as far as being a content creator. You know, doing music product reviews and tutorials and stuff like that.
Did Kev steal your content?
Yeah, freaking Kev, man. I can't stand it.
I knew there's a reason we brought him on the show here.
Why do I even hang around this dude, right? No. But no, one of my videos that I made years ago on a product that actually helps a lot of people, for the lack of a better term, let's just say this, to keep it very, very simple. It's a product that allows you to use plugins in Ableton Live, which is a recording program that you weren't able to use without this plugin. So I did a little tutorial on it and gave the author a nice amount of like, because the review did a bunch of views. It did pretty well. But I just happened to notice, I don't know, maybe it was like a year after I released the video and it had already done very well, there was a gentleman that actually ripped my video verbatim. He did everything I did in the video the exact same way. He talked the exact same way that I did. Very similar to what we're talking about now. What do you do in that situation? Because it was just another guy. It wasn't somebody on a scale of an IGN. So there's nothing in place on YouTube to actually deal with those kind of situations.
I mean, that's what the MCA is for, but instead we use it for Nintendo Let's Plays.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. In that case, yeah. That's at what point you make a DMCA claim against them, because here's the thing that most people don't realize is that there is an obscure piece of copyright law that says that if you publish something in a public domain, that there's a soft copyright on it. Mm-hmm. You do not have to file paperwork for that. Right. In that particular instance, you make something clearly before someone else. There's dates matched, like in this case with the IGN writer. His review came out clearly after Boomstick Gaming's. At that point, then what he does is he should make this video comparing the two, but then he should also have filed a DMCA takedown. because that was clearly plagiarism. That was clearly someone infringing on his published copyright of his content. The game content isn't his, but the problem with, in that particular case, where it's a little gray area, is video game reviews here also showing content of a video game, and the question becomes, is that content of the video game something that you can claim as a DMCA thing, even though you don't own it?
And wasn't it a thing where the IGN guy, took the Boomstick Gaming's footage as well? Wasn't there something like that?
I don't think he took his footage.
I don't think he took his footage. It was just the actual the important parts. The footage, like you can steal someone's footage, and it's not really something that you can claim on there unless you are unless that footage directly, I think, links. Like, for example, say that I'm demonstrating a tutorial. Like, I've done a lot of build guides. Let's say I'm doing a build guide and I'm showing people a strategy on how to beat something, and I'm using a tactic that no one else has seemed to have used before, and then someone else copies that exact tutorial and uses my footage in order to make that tutorial. I thought that was the situation, because from the videos that I've seen that showed the side by side, I thought the video was identical, and he was actually the guy from IGN actually had the same dialogue over top of it. At least I thought that's what I was seeing. That's even worse. Yeah, I can't say if that. Yeah, if that's the case, that is worse. But I can't say that for certain. I thought that it was just that was the same. But,
okay, that could be me.
No,
never mind.
But as I've ranted on about this for a while, because this is a pretty heated topic. But
screw this guy.
I do want to kind of go to another topic that is also kind of something that's interesting. Not necessarily, although it starts off as negative. This one is just all negative. The guy's a piece of shit. He did something bad, didn't even apologize for it. Yeah, I think we can write that off as this guy's a piece of shit, and he just go.
You suck.
Yeah. But the next
Can we get him banned from YouTube?
Yeah, something.
Get him banned from Earth.
But the next one on
real
here...
quick before we go, if we could, you being head of IGN, do you hire the Boomstick Gaming guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, just to be spiteful.
Just to be spiteful, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so moving on.
That would be a good move.
Yeah, that would be a good move. I think they should do that. IGN, you should hire Boomstick Gaming. Give him a job.
Boom.
But
if he takes it.
Yeah, if he takes it. But moving on from there, so there's a game over, I want to say,
not anymore.
I think it was a little while ago. Got pulled from Steam after someone did some analysis on the game and found out that the game was running pretty high for being rather simple graphics. It was like 1980s era graphics, right? But it was like taxing out like i7s and GTX 1080s. It was like maxing them out, and they're what they were trying to claim that was happening didn't really match up. There seemed to be some inconsistencies there. So someone that's familiar with it actually found out that the game was Bitcoin mining in the background.
Yeah.
Which
you're a real piece of crap.
Yeah. So and of course the game developer denied it adamantly. Steam looked into it. They pulled the game down because obviously you're a piece of shit. That's pretty clear. That to me just stamps of malware. However, the question I want to pull to you guys, and I think we briefly touched on, I think last week when we were chatting after we were playing games, but I wanted to kind of pose it to you guys as a discussion point here. Do you guys feel that is viable as a free-to-play model for a video game? If properly disclosed, of course. You telling people up front. Yeah.
There's actually been apps, programs, I can't remember what it was, that actually had very similar features, but they let you know up front. It was something along the lines of, oh God, this has been a long time, but it was something along the lines of, help us run our engine. We use some of your processing power. as long as you're not using it. I cannot remember what the hell that was, but I remember seeing that this was years ago, well over a decade ago. And I thought that was really weird that that even existed. But fast forward to the day and you got this guy that puts the whole mining thing into the game. That's insane. Especially when, you know, you're basically, this is an invasion of privacy. That when it boils down to it. So what you're asking is that something that should exist?
So as an alternative, like for example, right now you have your kind of typical free to play model, which is you know, microtransactions and that sort of thing, right? As a means to finance running the game. My question is kind of like, as an alternative, you don't have to pay for the game up front. You don't have to have microtransactions in the game. Instead, you get a game that's free in the way that it recoups that and it funds itself is as you're playing the game, it mines some Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency in the background.
I actually have a point.
There's a very,
I have a point to.
If I could, real quick,
say,
there's a very simple. There's a very simple response to that. What's my cut?
Well, you're not going to use your cut is that you get a video game for free. Nah. You're not going to use my processing power and all of this other stuff to mine to make you rich, and I get nothing off of it. Screw you, your game, all of your.
Well, let me put a couple of examples out there. I'm running a RX Vega, 50% power, and that's 50 cents a day. Now you start adding that up on one person, you're cut off of that. If you're paying 50 cents a day for the cost of a game, okay, over the course of a year, how much is that? You know, and that's if it's running 24 hours, not just when the game is running. In this case, it would be only while the game is running, not 24 hours a day. So you're running this 24 hours a day. That's 50 cents a day. Let me actually do some math on there.
Yeah, well,
that's $182 by the end of the year. So if it is running 24/7 on your computer, then yes, you deserve your cut. But if it's only when you're running the game and no other time, then it's paying for the game. That's more or less what it is. Because in reality, there's nothing truly free out there. It's paid for by some means or another. Maybe not by you, but by somebody some way.
Right.
You know, in some cases, targeted advertising, whatever the case is. So it's got to be paid for. You know, work gets paid for some way or another. So if you look at, and here's a point I want to make, and Lapi Sulia, you know, made me think of this, is give you options on there. Not that we're just going to tap your processing power, whatever is left available, 100%, or graphical or CPU. And then, you know, the rest is to run the game, is give you some control options, like say, you know, 50% or something else like that, you know, so that you're not overtaxing your system. Or if you have some thermal control issues, you don't have good air conditioning, you know, your CPU is prone to overheating and thermal throttling, so it doesn't bog down your entire system. It only takes up, say, 50% of available resources. You know, that would be something right there, is more or less, and at that point it becomes more like a donation, like games or software that lets you offer a donation. You've got a variable input amount on there. That's not say, hey, you know, here's your free trial, then it's $60 to, you know, play. Is like, hey, you can donate $5, $20, $60, whatever you want on there. In this case, you're donating processing power for your machine.
I feel you there. I feel you there. But immediately, I'm a person that I totally know and understand that you give somebody an inch, they'll take a freaking yard.
Yep.
Yeah.
So today it's, you know, it's 10%. Then suddenly you got 75% of your computer that you're missing, and you're still not being properly reimbursed for it. Me personally, I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it.
I can personally speak as someone who does mine off of a GTX 1080 and an i7, running just dedicated, nothing else running, not a game running or anything dedicated on that. I can get maybe $1.50. If you think about it, breaking that down, if I'm playing a game for a couple hours a day on average, they're not, even if they max out and take the entirety of all your system resources, they're making, peanuts. So it's not gonna. My concern would be more along the lines of, would it be a sustainable business practice? That's the question I more have.
If you have thousands or millions of people that are doing it, and that's what this guy was going after.
Yeah. Well, if you look at, like, say, the AAA gaming industry, and say, your game, you only get you pay $60 for a new game, and it's not it's kind of like a fixed standard game. You can play you can be entertained for about a year. So you pay $60 a year, and you're playing. And this is, say, if you're playing upwards of 6 hours a day. I'm going, 1/4 of a day right there. 6 hours a day. If you're playing a game that much for a full year, that's $60 for the full year. Now, I did the math on this, and this is if you have a more powerful GPU and it's running off the GPU instead of the CPU. Right. In my case, is like, that's $45 over the course of the year, running 6 hours a day every day. You add that up by multiple people, that's a reasonable amount, but most likely this is tapping off of the CPU.
Can we just throw some shade at Kev on not needing this phone?
The hell?
Yeah.
You look at it off of the CPU, that's looking at, like, I think less than 5% of the example I just made. So you're looking at making $5 a year, maybe $10 a year per person. Yeah, it can add up, but per year, that's pretty slow growth for, especially if it's a large budget game title.
Yeah, that's kind of where I look at it, is that, yes, if you have thousands of people playing it, but as opposed to how much money gets made in microtransactions, I don't know if you know, but Overwatch made $1 billion in 2017 off of loot boxes. So it's. Would mining give you something comparable to that? I don't think so.
Probably not.
So
no, I don't think it's a sustainable business model. It's a nice idea if it's voluntary donation type system. They give you options. They'll be upfront about it, as opposed to unlicensed gambling, which uses tricks, preys on people's psychological tendencies. Obviously, this, if they're upfront about it, would be far superior as far as ethics goes.
I can agree with that. I can definitely see. Kev, what are your thoughts? Do you? I know how big you are into mining. You've been quiet because your phone.
Oh yes, yes. I got all the important business calls, bro. All the important business calls.
All of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're calling me right now to ask me if they can use my computer for mining. So while I play their free-to-play titles,
they're actually offering him money to advertise people, allow them to use their computer for mining. So he's now a spokesperson for these malicious cryptocurrency folks.
Nice.
But I said no. But yeah, I'm not into the idea. I just don't like. It's one thing if you say, yeah, you can do it, whatever. What I'm against is how they actually went about it. They went in the back end. It was unknown, and then when people called them on it, they tried to lie about it.
Oh no,
it's not okay. Like none of that is okay. Yeah, and then Steam found it, and Steam did the right thing. They took the game down. Now, I mean, if you want to let them use your PC power, by all means, give people the option, give people choices. It feels very, I don't know the right word here, rapey. I'm gonna use that word, rapey. Because they just take your PC power and don't know how, and without any errors in the world,
but
without any consideration to you.
So what you're saying is that it doesn't take a GTX 1080 and an i7 7700K to run essentially what amounts to stick graphics.
Yes, that's what it takes to run Minecraft.
Yes. No, I have Minecraft. The graphics of this game were below Minecraft.
So we're talking Atari 2600.
This was like
Pong,
in
television.
No, this was like Pong level graphics. This was like this was like, or maybe Atari level graphics that we were running here.
It took an i9 and two 1080 Ti's in SLI to run Pac-Man at low settings at 15 frames a second.
Nah, I'm good.
For ADI.
or 100% utilization, overheating, thermal throttling.
Oh, you were getting all that in Pac-Man too.
Yeah, but no, that's so. So I guess the consensus then kind of is more of a no. This wouldn't really work.
Well, let me ask this question. This is slightly off topic but related.
Mm-hmm.
How much of this would have been prevented if Steam was on top of their game as far as vetting games?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, this sounds like we're moving over.
Ooh, before we get there, I want to clearly define what a marketplace is versus what a game publisher is.
Hey.
So Valve, and this is something that's commonly misunderstood. People throwing down, oh, yeah, like Kotaku. I love it. Kotaku's like, see, if Valve had been curating games like they're supposed to, and Valve is like, we're not a curator.
We're not a publisher.
We are not a publisher.
They are a publisher, but they're also
well, yeah, they are a publisher. They do publish games, but no, the Steam platform, not Valve, Steam platform.
Right.
It's just an open marketplace. It's like a flea market. You come up and you sell your goods. You know, you pay for your stall, right? You pay for your stall. You sell your goods, whatever. It's not the flea market's responsibility to go and check everybody's shit to make sure they're not selling stolen radios. Right?
True.
You know,
I don't want to sell stolen radios.
However, once they find out that they're stolen radios, they better be cracking down on that shit.
They are. Yeah, if someone else comes and reports them,
stolen radios, or are they crappy stolen radios?
Yeah, the point is,
I want to hook up.
The point is on there though is that I hear that argument a lot, and I am with Steam on this one. I agree with the stance they've taken that they are not a curator. Someone made a point of maybe making the bar to entry a little bit higher so that it's a little bit more. It dissuades some of these more underhanded gaming folks. Well, they have I think it's a 5,000 barrier to entry. To list something on Steam, I think costs $5,000.
Well, it used to be like $100, I think, or maybe it was $1,000. So they did raise the barrier to entry.
Yeah, so
that was last year. Maybe they should do it like Microsoft and Sony, where it's like 30,000 off top.
Yeah, I may be wrong on what the bar to entry. That might have been what the person was recommending, was to make it $5,000 or something like that. But the point is that that is one way to do it. Make it a little bit more expensive to list on Steam up front, so that makes it more of a gamble for someone trying to do something untoward. If they are risking more money up front and not necessarily guaranteed that in return, then I could definitely agree that would be a good tactic.
That makes it a lot steeper for independent developers, people who are not trying to make a game based off of a business loan that they would be required to actually get it. Because Steam is also, or Valve is also of the opinion that they want independent developers who are like, say, don't make enough money to pay that a steep investment in there.
There are ways for them to get the money very easily. If you go on Indiegogo, or you go on what am I thinking of? What's the crowdfunding site, the big one?
GoFundMe?
Yeah, no.
Kickstarter?
Good God, GoFundMe, Kev? What's wrong with you? Oh,
he spends a lot of time on there.
Apparently,
yes.
Yeah. Kickstarter.
I was thinking Kickstarter and it said GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. No,
there's also Steam's early access program too.
Do they even have? Well, I don't know. In any case, the point is
they
that
killed it.
Yeah, I think they killed that. But in any case, my point is that you can start up a Kickstarter. Say, hey, I've already produced a game. I just need to, and here's a sample of the game. Top 100 people that are above this tier, they get a free copy. And get people to donate and get your game published. Wouldn't actually be that hard, especially if you have a good game. If you have a crappy asset flip, like a lot of them, no one's gonna fucking.
Well, I mean, a lot of games these days are crappy.
Well, make a good game.
Hey, Kev knows he plays them.
Yeah, he plays all the crappy games. I mean, like,
I don't know about all that.
He likes that Call of Duty life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
bro.
That's my thought. But I don't want to throw it away. They're talking about Steam and being an open marketplace. I don't want to lose out on the chance that we have to talk about the best story of the day, which is Steam.
I need some clarity on this. What exactly is happening?
Steam is getting some competition. So Discord, as many people that play on PC or otherwise on there might be familiar with Discord as a nice chat solution, I guess. Voice and video and text chat. It's kind of superseded a lot of the other PC communication platforms like TeamSpeak and the other ones like that. It's superseded a lot of them as a primary means for gamers to kind of get together, communicate. Because unlike on consoles, PCs don't necessarily rely on a built-in party chat system like Xbox or PlayStation.
Got to get that AOL popping.
Yeah, which I think it's for the better, that we have choices, but that has been one of my complaints, that it does fragment a lot of communities, because some were on TeamSpeak, some were on what's the starts with M, I can't even remember anymore.
Vimeo? Not Vimeo.
Vimeo.
I know what it is.
Wow.
No, that's a Vimeo, the video site.
Yeah.
There's something else similar to
Mumble. That was.
Yeah, I was thinking of
Mumble was another one. But yeah, some people were on Skype. I don't know why. They must have really been suicidal or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Discord came out, and it's largely supplanted all of those. It's become pretty ubiquitous in the PC gaming space, which I'm like, yeah, well played.
Oh, you have console gamers using it now too, like a lot of the Nintendo gamers right now.
Yep.
They use Discord.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. It's great. It has become a very ubiquitous platform that millions of people are using. And like recently, they announced, actually a little while ago, they kind of have been shaping things where they now have kind of an activity feed and a games launcher built into your kind of dashboard of it, which we're like, hey, cool, that makes it easier to launch things. And then they're like, oh yeah, we're also launching a game store. And we're like, oh shit, Steam. Now we finally have some good competition, right? Because
GOG.
I mean,
I find this is hilarious though, because Steam just updated the software like 2 weeks ago to the whole their Discord type thing.
Yep, they're trying to copy the Discord chat system, which by the way, not nearly as good. It's really has a long way to go. I mean, not to say that they couldn't get it there, but it's definitely not up to that par yet, And yeah, there's I feel like it's good. Like they've gotten this platform that is very ubiquitous already, and then now introduce it once they played the game well. Like as I said, they played the game well. They got the saturation in there, not being a competitor to Steam. And then they throw in that store to now be a competitor with Steam. So they kind of snuck themselves in. I don't know if this was their game all along, but if it was,
it worked.
Well played.
That's well played.
Very well played.
That's a sneaky ass move. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they just were trying to figure out ways that they could better. Because thus far, I have no idea how they're really making money on Discord as it is. I mean, yeah, they got the Turbo, or not Turbo, what's it called? Essentially their subscription service.
Nitro.
Aren't they a part of Steam now? I'm not Steam. Twitch?
No, they have integration with Twitch.
Twitch is part of Amazon Prime. Amazon, that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twitch
No. There's okay. Maybe it was Curse that Twitch.
Yeah. No.
Bought
Curse.
out.
Twitch owns Curse too.
Yeah.
Twitch bought out.
Amazon owns Curse. I mean.
But, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Amazon owns Curse.
Okay.
I was part of the Curse network whenever they got that bought out happened. That was entertaining.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a fun little piece, but yeah, they are independent, and I've been always curious how they're generating revenue off of it, because yes, they have the Nitro subscription service, but they can't have that many people subscribing to Nitro to really fund the. I can't imagine what the infrastructure costs are. Maybe they're running off of AWS in the background. That's fair. But that's going to cost you money, and I didn't know how they were making it. Now, if they successfully launch this game store, then they can start taking cut off of game sales like Steam does. Steam obviously is doing quite well for themselves with that game store.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they haven't needed to make a game in like or a third game in a trilogy.
Hey.
That's because we all know that Gabe is allergic to the number 3.
Hey.
Yeah, he fears it.
You know, we'll go number 2, episode 2, season 2.
What it is,
you just keep adding 2s onto the end of it.
What we're seeing is a translation. He's counting in binary. 1 is actually 0, and 2 is 1. So he's counting in binary. That's all the farther he can go.
Yeah, it's I've always kind of gotten amusement out of
Gaben life.
That's a better argument than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's binary. He only believes.
He used to deserve our praise.
We're gonna see Half-Life 4 get released, and we're gonna be like, wait, what?
I mean, you never know. I used to say we were gonna see Half-Life 3 before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Microsoft
That's how that turned out.
Like Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. Wait, what?
Right.
Right.
We're here now.
Yeah. So my question is, what do you guys think the odds of Discord becoming a competitor to Steam, like any significant portion? Because yes, GOG is the second biggest games distribution platform to Steam, but I mean, let's be honest, they're not. They have like a fraction of the market.
Yeah, but they don't need it. They have all of the CD Projekt Red stuff.
Yeah.
They have all retro stuff too.
Here's the thing I'm going to say on that is, okay, how long has Twitch been running their game store, and how big is that?
Oh, they're clever though. They have a clever angle that they're running. Essentially, Twitch is now using their Prime stuff to give out free games. You know, so kind of like an Xbox Live type experience, except you get to keep the games.
Ouch.
That's also PlayStation Plus. There, it's not just Xbox that I'm throwing shade on.
Well,
Sony can get some of that shade too. Huh?
Because the damage control. The damage controller was here, but we get to keep our 360 games.
Well, yeah, because that was when they were doing the games with gold on 360. I even cashed in on some of those. Still own them, but you know, Xbox One, you don't get to keep none of those. You know, PlayStation, you don't get to keep them. But you know, that's Twitch. Twitch seems to be trying to play their angle very well with giving away free games, getting people into that ecosystem, comfortable with the launch or that sort of thing. They did a smart thing of like integrating. You have a games platform with your streaming service, just like Discord. You have your chat service and your games platform. Steam, yeah, people chat on it, but I mean, let's be honest. What are people mostly there for? You know, they're using it to launch games.
Well, here's the thing: is like, okay, Twitch games. I've taken a lot of free Twitch games. I've got quite a collection. I've even downloaded a couple of them. I have not played a single fucking one.
No,
and some of them are games I want to play, at least, you know, to try out. Like I think Superhot was one of those games that's on my Steam wish list. I took it off of my Steam wish list because I got it through Twitch, you know, the Twitch Prime loot. You know, Discord, I think, you know, if there's enough people that are like my mindset on there, that yes, we like the option of variety and we'll actually make use of some of that. But we go back to the standard of simplicity of like, well, Steam does everything so well for me. I'm just going to stick with that. And yeah, you can add the games to the Steam launcher and run it from that. And, you know, it's still like, you know, having a game downloaded straight through Steam. It's just a matter of laziness. Honestly, it's laziness. I have been lazy to go through the work of trying out games on Twitch.
I played some of these games off of Twitch, right off of the launcher. It's fine. It's like playing it off GOG.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played a little bit of Tyranny on there. I played some Strafe. I already had Superhot on Steam. I'm just looking at my Amazon games list.
Yeah, I have. I got
games already had. Like I already had Tales from the Borderlands.
Joe Toon. I got Joe Toon recently on there. So, you know, and like I said, they're playing it well. But my thought is I'm curious on how will Discord be able to play within that game, because you're talking Discord versus Valve is a giant, and Amazon is like, if we're looking at scale, you got like a little human-sized person, and then you've got like this giant Valve person who's like, you know, 20 feet tall, and then you have planet-sized Amazon. You know, so it's like, will Discord be able to compete in that market? That's what I'm curious about.
I think yes, because I think Valve is going to start losing market share as you see some of the bigger publishers go. I think Activision, for example, is going to pull all of their big games off of Steam. People thought it was weird with Destiny, and they pulled it to Blizzard. People are thinking it's weird with Call of Duty, they're pulling it to Blizzard. I think they're going to keep doing it. You have Bethesda, they're starting to say, you know, Fallout 76 isn't going to be on Steam. And Bethesda's going to keep pushing that. They're going to, especially because they want to push Creation Club so hard, they're going to pull all of that off Steam where they can control it more. Yes, fuck Activision, I thoroughly agree.
Goddamn, you started a roller coaster.
Oh, they already got it there.
Yeah. Activision,
can I get a fuck Origin?
EA.
Can I get a fuck EA?
No, we're not gonna fuck Gaben. I got Valve, EA, but no Gaben yet.
Yeah, there it is. Fuck EA.
There we go.
Yeah, I want specifically Gaben. Nobody's gonna say Gaben.
There you go. You got it.
Don't challenge the internet, man.
You had to speak it up.
Don't challenge the internet.
I feel like I've been issued a challenge.
Yes.
Accepted.
I love it. Thank you.
Here we are.
But I think as more of these big publishers starts thinking about, you know, hey, I can just keep this money in my pocket and not deal with Steam and do things however the hell I want to do them.
Right.
We're going to start seeing less people come over to Steam because you don't just on Steam you're getting to the point where since they don't curate their games, you're just another coin in the pond for lack of a better term. You're just there, but you're with all of the asset flips. You're with all the dime dozen Metroidvania games and roguelikes. And at what point do you, as a game, separate yourself?
Yep.
Because let's be real, you'll have 100 games in a genre, and people only really play 2 or 3 of them for the most part. Like, if you have a bunch of MOBAs out there, what MOBAs do people really play? League, Smite, Dota.
Yeah.
Maybe the Blizzard one. I can't think of what it's called now, but maybe the Blizzard one. You got 101 MMOs. People mainly play WoW and Elder Scrolls Online.
And maybe start. You know, you've got your niche groups, but the problem is that every new thing that comes out, right? You have the big dog that's the innovator that comes out with the new thing. Maybe they didn't invent the new thing, but they just kind of were the big hit in the new thing.
Pioneered.
And then you have a couple of guys that get in quickly on the fad that catch some stragglers that are new to the genre. And then after that, you'll just get a stream of copycats that just fizzle out and burn, right? And that happened with the MMO fad. You had WoW. They struck it big. And then you had a few other...
It's safe to say PUBG.
Huh?
Well, wasn't the first battle royale.
No. But it was...
But it was the one that brought everyone's attention to it. Fortnite copied it, of course, did it better, and now everybody's playing Fortnite. And now you see a lot of other battle royale games that aren't really as good as PUBG or Fortnite, but they're popping out.
Well, you did that. You saw that with MMOs, with World of Warcraft, and then it's like all the kind of the followers behind it. You saw it happen with military shooters. You know, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor. You know, like Battlefield. All these guys on there. And then you saw it with open world games, battle royale games. I forgot. Before battle royale, you had the hero shooter fad. Overwatch tried it, and then what's the other one? The one.
Lawbreakers.
No, not Lawbreaker. It's the free to play one.
Paladins.
That's it. You had Paladins in there, and then you had like
Paladins several. Doing it.
Yeah, no, Paladins is actually they're the second one. Like I said, you have the guy that strikes it big, and then you have like a couple of like ones that come after it that follow the trend that still catch some of that. But then you have like dozens of copycats that just fizzle out and burn, and that's what happened with hero shooters. It's happening with battle royale. You know, it's gonna happen with every new big fad that hits. You have the first person that does it that hits it big, couple of big followers, and then everybody else that just kind of stumbles and falls trying to copy. But that's my thing, is that if they keep those niche groups Like for example, Activision, they have a big hit in MMOs. They have a big hit in hero shooters. They have a big hit in military shooters with Battlefield, not Battlefield, my brain, Call of Duty. Sorry. Actually, come to think of it, they seem to be the ones that really cash in on this shit. I'm surprised they didn't make Fortnite. You know.
Or even you think about like with Destiny, when I think about with Activision too, you know, there's a bunch like we got Anthem trying to copy him, the Division tried to copy them a little bit. I still blame all of them for copying Diablo.
Warframe.
And in a manner of speaking, well, the thing is that Destiny and Warframe largely were developed around the same time frame. Destiny was released a little after Warframe. But so I wouldn't necessarily say
that depends on the initial when you frame the initial development. Warframe actually got its start in the early 2000s when they tried to pitch it to get published before Dark Sectors came out, and nobody wanted to invest into it. Then Dark Sector came out because they needed to make some money.
I wouldn't say the gameplay loop was the same concept back then. I think the general idea of it, like the space ninjas, the Warframe suit that you wear. Kind of the gunplay thing, the third-person gunplay thing. Yeah, I think that those were definitely all parts of it. But the kind of the looter-shooter concept, I don't think that was even in anybody's brain until much later on, whenever the kind of live services game model became more popular, and they realized if we it kind of spun off of the MMO trend. Really, it was. Go ahead.
And to add on to that too, I don't know that I would even necessarily classify Warframe and Destiny in the same category. Yes, they're sci-fi, space shooters. They have a lot of similarities. And yes, you're grinding for better Warframes versus better guns. But I think the more variety that comes with Warframe makes it a little bit different. Destiny is about the grind. It's kind of about the repetition, sadly. Whereas Warframe, you're going to experience new things. You grind to experience new things.
Is Kev complimenting Warframe?
Yeah.
No. I'm pointing out differences. I still prefer Destiny. I'm pointing out differences.
It's time in the game. Warframe has had 5 years into this. That's why you've got so much variety. Well, at this point, it's not just variety.
So much content.
Yeah,
it's feature.
But let's compare it to Destiny. Destiny's been out for almost 4.
Well, no, hold on. Let's kind of take that back. It's not necessarily time in development. It was a different style of support structure. So at the core, both games are the same kind of genre. They are both looter shooters. The gameplay loop is you run through a mission, you shoot a bunch of shit, you feel super powerful, you're cool, you're a badass, you get some loot at the end. Oh, it wasn't the loot you wanted? Okay, well, you replay that mission, you shoot a bunch of shit, you feel super powerful, you get some loot at the end. And you repeat ad nauseum until you get the loot that you... That's the basic gameplay loop of a looter shooter. It's based, like you said, it's based off of Diablo. That's where that started, back in the late 90s with Diablo, rerunning shit over and over again until you get the loot that you... Well, the thing is that where they differed is the support model, whereas Destiny went with the more traditional DLC model, because it's a AAA game, of course, it kind of does that. It went with a more traditional DLC model with the first Destiny releasing large chunk of content. And
then added loot boxes.
Yeah, and then they added loot boxes, but they also charged for the DLC, that sort of thing, right? Yeah. They did charge for the expansions, right? In the first Destiny.
Oh, yep, they charge for them in the second.
Yeah, okay. So
they charge for you get 2 expansions a year, 2 or 3.
Yep.
And then in the next year you pay for the season pass to get 2 more.
Yeah.
And they do that each year until the next one comes out.
So conversely,
wasn't there something where with this last update for Destiny you lost your progress, or you couldn't play it if you weren't a certain level or something like that?
No, Destiny to get to the new content, it's always like that. They want you to grind your character up to the next level. Now, what they usually do though is give you the XP boosts to get to the content quickly. So it's not as bad as people say. Like I when the last Destiny DLC came up, I didn't like the first one they put out, so I skipped it. I jumped right into the second one. I was at level in like 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. But no,
Yeah.
the difference though on the content support structure though is how Warframe did it, since they were a free to play game primarily. Although Destiny has its microtransactions, but because the support model for Warframe hinged on their microtransactions, instead they went with a different model of constantly releasing new guns and Warframes, and kind of like at a regular interval they're releasing new guns very frequently. Warframe slightly less frequently, and then usually once or twice a year they have a kind of a big content update that adds something really new to the game, and then throughout that they're sprinkling in new content all the time, because they have to balance patching old stuff that's broken or reworking old stuff that's broken, releasing new content that people can buy, because you have a kind of a small core group of people that are just microtransacting the shit out of everything. Whales, right? Well, after those people all buy the new shit that comes out, they all have it, so your purchases start declining really rapidly, right? So then your cash flow starts drying up. Well, then you have to release something new to keep that kind of that roller coaster going.
Right.
Then they have to balance that with a big overarching, major content development project that they do. So they have those multi-level improvement projects that they're constantly going through, that has caused them to have this mountain of content compared to Destiny, where Destiny has a much smaller selection of content that they release far more sporadically. And I think that's the reason why Warframe has been so enduring, is because it's constantly interest, where Destiny, like, 1 tapered off towards the end considerably. Destiny 2 came out, big hype, really died, and then now it's starting to slowly come back as they're actually doing shit right now.
Hey, I was just about to ask you with what you just said. I know there's a 10-year contract on Destiny, but with the somewhat lackluster or lack of success with 1 and now 2, did we see another one?
Yes, Destiny 1 was highly successful.
Okay.
It had some problems, like I said, with year 3, but year 1 and 2 were very successful. People didn't like the initial release because I don't think people understood what the game was. I didn't understand what the game was initially. I played the first one at first. And
hey, go look it up.
So, yeah. Fuck Destiny, we got that. Can we get a fuck Warframe?
Hey.
Yeah, I think Kev is gonna have to put that in there himself. I think he's the only person that doesn't like it. So unfortunate.
The only one ever.
But yeah, so
what was it then? But with Destiny 2, it sold in the beginning, but people didn't like how they restructured everything. And what it was like, I get it. You didn't feel rewarded for playing like you did the first one. Like, you didn't feel like there was nothing worth grinding for. Exotics came a dime a dozen. All the armors didn't mean much. Like, they didn't have its own individual traits like the first game had. And then when you came in with the DLC for the second game, the first one, and the reason I didn't like it, all the guns were just reskins of the guns that came with the game with new names. So I was like, I don't like that either. Now they're starting to. I don't think it's damage control, bro. I'm just explaining what they did. I will not hold that L, sir. But with this one now, I feel like they're getting a lot of it right, and especially with the Forsaken comes out, they're gonna get a lot more even right. From just what they said they want to do, it sounds like they're getting it back to where things were in Destiny 1. Will people come back?
I just want to throw it out there. Xaiphen's camera is glorious. He's got like this kind of ghost,
awesome.
this ghost image of his face, It's but we'll leave it there. That's fine.
That's awesome.
We're close to the end. I just love that there's a ghost image of his face grinning, and it's kind of like the most haunting thing ever. I love it. It's fantastic.
I'm not going to say it's the ghost in the shell, but
Hey.
It was aliens.
Yeah. But so in any case, though, let's kind of bringing it back towards the Discord. What is a good kind of marketing or a strategy, I guess, not just marketing, but in general, a good business strategy for Discord to try to start attracting a lot of those Steam users that might be displaced due to
already there. It's all in one.
Yeah.
At this point, it's a pure all in one. You got your games, you got your community. You have premium features if you're what's the name of it?
Nitro. Yep, you get free games.
Nitro.
You get free games if you got Nitro. Yep.
And I think
you
they're
get
just
free
going to
games too. I didn't know they gave you free games.
They're going to. Yep.
That's what's going to be a part of that now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Twitch Prime that we were just talking about.
Yep.
But it's purely all in one. It's just now adding on more features, attracting more people. I think is excellent.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It's something that I think Valve should have done. At least the whole community aspect of it. They should have been the first one.
And what's funny, they do everything that Valve is doing, but they just do it better.
Yep.
Now my question is, as far as Valve's response, do you think Valve should have a subscription service where they give away free games?
The only issue with that is you have June, you have October, you have November and December.
Here's the thing on that though, is they're going to have, unless they are AAA titles, high popularity titles,
right,
that are not too terribly old, they're going to have a hard time selling that just because of all the free content that's already available on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, not only all the free content on Steam, all the free content you get everywhere. Like, you don't need Steam to get Steam keys. Like, how many free games have we gotten from Humble Bundle?
Yep.
Like, often.
Yeah.
And Humble Bundle monthly might be just the best deal. If we're talking about, like, just games of the month.
Yes, sir.
Like, or whatever programs. Humble Bundle monthly, that's pretty tough to beat. And I don't think any of these other programs on PC right now are beating Humble Monthly.
No. I've been there since the beginning.
and I was gonna say, and I'm not a sub. I sub every so often. Like, I took the July bundle because I wanted a hat in time. Other than that, I take my Twitch games, my Twitch Prime games.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that I can kind of and I agree with Chad on there. Like, all the money you save on Steam sales. They and a lot of times I notice the free games that a lot of services are giving away are kind of like, all right, that's nice.
Right.
Jotun was a kind of a rare one that Amazon was giving away. It is an indie game, but it's actually a really good quality indie game. It's generally well.
Oh yeah, I wanted to play that one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you should. I think they still have it. I think it's the month of August. So
I already grabbed it.
Yeah.
I've already got the games in my list. I just have to actually get around to playing the ones that I want to.
Yeah. And the thing is that most of them though are kind of like, okay, this is a game. Nothing really excites you. No, there's no like, oh man, this is a big title. Now, if a game like this distribution platform, say, was also a publisher and gave away like a paid game that they have for free that's really popular, Half-Life, maybe that might attract people. I'm just throwing that out there.
But the only thing with what you just said, specifically that title, is you get them for like $2 every time rolls around.
I'm talking about the mythical third. Yeah. If that were the case, well,
we know that's not happening.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. But
then they had the fans do it. It got so bad.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing is that Half-Life 3 confirmed. Yeah, exactly. It's
Discord.
Huh? Yeah, for Discord. Discord's gonna publish Half-Life 3, guys. You heard it here
That
first.
would be crazy.
Fuck Half-Life 3. Okay.
Really, Kev? Really? can it exist first? Can it exist?
Somebody, all right, somebody
It
take
cannot
the
live.
Kev. He's starting to beat the dead horse.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But in any case, oh yeah, Kev beating the dead horse. The thing is that I kind of have the mind that if Valve wanted to compete, and I'm all about going for their strengths, right? I can't remember if I jumped on this or not, but I was talking about how Xbox, going to their strength with rumors that the next Xbox will utilize their cloud infrastructure to help. We'll see if that happens, but that's playing to their strength, right? PlayStation, the next Xbox or next PlayStation being focused on VR, that would play to their strengths. Nintendo's already doing that. Valve playing to their strengths as a game publisher to utilize that to give them an advantage. That's how I want to see like a games market, right? Is each of these companies has something they're good at, that they have a strength in, a niche that they're good at, and leveraging that to kind of gain an advantage in the market. That's to me how you compete, rather than Steam saying, well, we have the monopoly on the market right now, so we're just going to try to strangle out competition. That's not a good. No.
Sony.
Yeah.
I got a question. Do we know if Discord has a Titan behind them? YouTube has Google. Twitch has Amazon. Does Discord have anybody like that, or anybody that we know that has interest?
They have some silent partners from what I've seen, some big money.
Because I'm with you, what you were just saying as far as the evolution and how to compete and whatnot. I think if they got a Titan behind them, I think we will see another streaming competitor. Another network.
I do hope that Google did not buy them.
No. I'm talking about somebody entirely different.
Yeah, that's
on Netflix.
Yeah, I would be okay if CD Projekt bought them. Just don't out there. CD Projekt should maybe make an offer at Discord.
Oh my God.
Out there,
merge
that God with.
Going back to what you just said, as far as like building the whole thing up to where you include certain games within the monthly price, little Cyberpunk for your $4.99 a month.
Yep. I'm just saying that would be a great marketing campaign.
I like that.
One thing though, I would like to hope that if CD Projekt gets in on that, then we already know how it's going to go with the way they run GOG.
Right.
But like whatever way they work it, I would like to hope it's in a way because I like my Steam controller. I like to launch games from Steam. I hope that they have a cooperative interface with Steam. Like say, you play GOG, it's not even a cooperative interface. GOG takes a hands-off approach as far as launching their games. Yes, you can launch it through GOG, but it is by no means needed as a launcher, unlike say Origin, which is very interfering. Like I have one fuck of a time trying to play Origin games through Steam. Fuck Origin.
So Discord thus far, as I've seen, their overlay. By the way, also another great thing. They added text chat to their overlay. Kind of hyped for that. Yeah. So that.
I did see that.
Yeah, that's
and that's the thing. It's like so far Steam games, Discord's overlay interacts with all of those that I have very smoothly. But not Origin games. Oh, guess who's also fucking up again? Origin. Fuck Origin. Hate that launcher. Holy shit. I cannot emphasize that enough. I may enjoy some of their games, but I cannot stand their launcher. You can say fuck you, play all you want, but it's still at least it cooperates.
It's solid.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say about Uplays, that they do at least, even though it has the run underneath Steam, which to me is unnecessary.
It's so goofy.
We know Uplay's opinion in general on their DRM practices.
More?
Yeah.
More DRM. The point of breaking the computer.
is cooperative in your system. That is, that's the nice thing about it, is it plays nice with others.
Yeah.
The DRM management system may not, but the Uplay launcher itself does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Uplay itself has like 8 forms of DRM running it before you even turn your game on.
And it's all de novo based, but don't worry, Russian hackers have already cracked it.
Hey.
They released a new version. 5 minutes later, Russian hackers have cracked it.
As time goes on, I keep abandoning Origin games more and more. I have the Origin Access subscription that is expiring next March, which will leave me 1 game left to play on Origin, which, of course, this one I'll keep playing, Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
And that will be it.
Mm-hmm. I can see
You're
that.
a brave man.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it, as I see on there, is that, EA general tends, and to be frankly honest, Activision, I'm surprised it's taken them this long to kind of move to be more anti-competitive, because let's be honest, the Blizzard app isn't really good at playing nice with other people either. It goes back to my whole thing of Activision Blizzard doesn't get nearly as much shade for the shit they pull.
But here's the thing: is Blizzard is like Arc in the way it works. Which Arc's its own problems too. But you can launch the games from it, but it is not required to launch the games. The only conveniences it has is it will automatically log you into whatever you use your BattleNet login automatically in the game. So I can say launch Overwatch without BattleNet at all. I just got to log into BattleNet in Overwatch instead of it having it automatically logged in for me.
I'd rather log in myself.
I haven't tried it.
It doesn't look nice, but you can also say get the fuck out of the way, and it still works.
That is helpful, but
yeah,
Uplay not so much. Uplay's like no, I need to be here. Like
Right.
no, I want to watch Wildlands directly. No.
Exactly.
Take a step back.
You can't.
Keep it quiet. Let me in here. Let me do my thing. In any case, though, we're only about 25 minutes past on here. Our usual our 90-minute stream that never happens. So let's we'll start wrapping it up. Let's go with Xaiphen. Any final thoughts about how much you love Ark and Star Trek Online? I know it's your favorite game.
I haven't had Ark installed in forever, honestly. I still play Star Trek Online, but once it was available functionally from Steam, I downloaded it and started playing it through that. And it had, I logged into my whatever the Ark account or whatever through the Steam or the integrated cryptic launcher or whatever the hell it was. It worked fine. I haven't played Star Trek for a while, but that was as far as MMORPGs, I put more time into that one than any other, which I think is total 80 hours, maybe 100.
Yeah, perfect for all this cancer.
Diversification, I can't see any argument behind that. Hopefully it all goes well and smoothly, and just the level of competition improve the status quo instead of stagnating it or restricting it.
Yep, absolutely. Kev, final thoughts?
Crab is glorious.
Didn't
I can
even
taste it already. I haven't touched my crab. I put it in the fridge, even though we had just fresh boiled it. Put it in the fridge and came to y'all.
Screw you and your crab.
And it's fresh.
Buddy.
We caught it.
Buddy.
It makes you feel any better. I also noticed I have a flat tire, which I'm not happy about. So I have to deal with my flat tire after I eat my crab. And and we're gonna steal a podcast.
Yeah,
We haven't decided which one yet. Mort keeps staying co-optional. I think we're going to get outperformed by the host that's no longer there.
Yeah.
I think he's going to outperform all of us.
We'll just claim that he's not actually dead, and then steal old episodes of the co-optional podcast.
Yeah.
that his death was a hoax.
Crab isn't rich. We caught it. I went crabbing this morning.
To me, it's not a matter of too rich. They're spiders. They're fucking spiders. Come on, people. You're eating sea spiders.
And they'll be delicious. Oh man, it's raining.
Man, I got a picture of a spider crab. We were at the aquarium a few weeks ago. That's fucking huge.
So can we get a fuck rain right now because it's raining outside? I don't want to go change my tire on that.
Sorry.
I don't like when I gotta go change my tire. It was 85 degrees outside yesterday. Why is it raining? Bastards.
Well, it's not 85 and raining. That shit's miserable.
Yeah, maybe. Finally, getting to Tashir. I have not messed up his name yet.
That's excellent.
Final thoughts. Feel free to shill. Kev forgot to, but that's okay. He lost his chance. It's all on you, buddy.
Praise Gavin.
Hey, I appreciate you guys bringing me on. I've caught the podcast several times, and I think I love what you guys do. So it was awesome to be a part of this today. It really was. I'd be happy. I mean, I'd be open to coming back anytime. You guys can catch me if you like. Twitch.tv/TashirGames, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. EST. Finishing up the Arkham Insanity right now, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. Other than that, if you look up my name, you'll figure out what I'm doing. I hate to be that guy, but that's the best way to say it because I'm doing a lot.
And that's Tasherre.
Yes, sir.
Tashir.
Yes, sir.
In case anybody is trying to spell that and failing like I did. Yep. And then obviously to help Kev out there, failing to ship, there are links to all of Kev's stuff down in the chat below. There's also Xaiphen stuff that he never pays attention to because, he doesn't like the internet.
This thing right here that we're on right here.
KevN7 Gaming.
Whenever my local upload at least meets and probably exceeds 3 megabits, I might have some more, streaming level activity. But that 3 megabit that I barely get to, that's rough. It's hard to stream that shit.
That's fair enough. So in any case, though, obviously, if you guys want to, you can always join us on our Discord server on there, which there's a link in the chat. I can't read the link off for those of you guys listening on the podcast on Anchor, but we do have a Discord. You should find links in the description of any source that you do find our podcast on there, so you're welcome to join and chat with us in our Discord server. You can also, speaking of Anchor, check us out on Anchor, where you can find a link there also in the chat there. We'll have it also set up in the description, which I don't think I've done yet. Will also be distributed to all of the good platforms like Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. I actually am not really kept up on where they all have podcasts at.
Oh, geez, no.
I thought all the podcasts were on YouTube.
No.
Using Google Hangouts.
Oh, God. In any case, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I have a certain degree of quality that I like to keep on my content. But in any case,
I found most of the Google Hangout podcasts.
But in any case, you can also find me on YouTube and Twitter. It's pretty much Mortiel. There's not really thanks Pixelbot for posting the Anchor thing twice. It really wants you to follow us on Anchor, guys. The bot really wants you to. It might be threatening to kill us all right now if you don't follow us on Anchor. So please follow us on Anchor. I want my family to be let go. The wrong guys.
And they're not getting them back.
That's the race. In any case, obviously you can find me Mortiel. That's Mortiel. I also have to spell things out because no one can remember how to spell my name. That's why they all call me.
Well, the name's plagiarized anyway, so.
Oh no, yeah, no. Actually, my name has been plagiarized for years, for like decades. Only person on the internet that's ever used that name. Then like a few years back, I Googled my name because I was trying to do some branding research and found out that there's like a Saint Mortiel. It was some like furry animal thing. It was like a trading card thing or something. I don't know what it was based off of, like something like Pokemon or whatever. And I'm like, the fuck? How did you come up with that name? Like, you probably searched and found this cool guy, and you're like, I'm gonna make furries based on him. I'm like, shit. Now you know the internet.
This I don't want to call him second-rate YouTube channel or Twitch channel, but we'll call them that. They call themselves Pixel Crashers, plagiarizing our name.
I saw that. We were the original Pixel Crashers, which you could. That's the reason why our Twitch channel is called the Pixel Crashers. because
original.
we are the Pixel Crashers. I don't know. Yeah, I think there's a Facebook page on it. Whatever, it happens.
Yeah. This guy has YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all that shit.
I can't claim that Pixel Crashers is so unique that someone else might not come up. But you know,
it is that unique.
It is.
Hey,
stole it. And plagiarized us.
I'm gonna go back to our conversation earlier in the show. Who published it first?
Oh, it was us.
Yep.
Hands down.
Yeah, it was us.
I did branding research before we ever made that name up. I always do that. I try to find something that no one else has, because how many people out there are called Kev the Gamer? That's the reason why he had to move away from that, because Kev the Gamer, there's only 26 of those.
1,000.
Yeah. Even KevN7 was taken from him.
Yeah,
KevN7 was only taken on Twitch.
Oh, just the Twitch.
Yeah, everywhere else was
only the
and
biggest stream
channel on Twitch.
Everybody plagiarizing everybody. That's the way it is. Anyway, guys, we're gonna start getting signed out on here. Hopefully, my outro thing works well this time. We'll find out. But because I set it to do fancy stuff. In any case, we'll go ahead and get signed off of here, folks. You guys have a good week. We'll see you next week for another game stream here on Twitch, YouTube, and stuff. We'll hopefully figure out Kev stuff. Yeah, good times. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Oh.
Thank you.